Well, hello everybody. Here we go on a DJI Mini 3 Pro early flight in September. And once again, we in the fog. But once again, I'm sure we'll find our way out like that. So here we go. Take off. We're up, getting our bearings now. Let's see, disregard that scarecrow on the left side or the right side of the picture, wherever he's standing today, and we're off to the races. Well, we're taking Thelma Lou out, the DJI Mini 3 Pro, for an early September morning flight. It's about 9 o'clock in the morning, and we're flying into a pretty good headwind, about 10 miles an hour. Maybe a little stronger from time to time. And we're going to check out some fields, some agricultural fields, see what's cooking, so to speak. Now, this field's already been cut, as you can see. I don't know if this guy is wanting to get a second cut out of there this year or not, but it doesn't look like it's going to be till way, way, way late in the year, especially with the way that the moisture has been not being produced in this area. So the cuttings are kind of thin this year as far as hay baling in a lot of areas. Some people just did real good. Other people just did not have it. So I'll show you a field coming up where a guy got a lot of round bales out of it. He made some money out of that field. Anyway, there's a pond, and we're headed down and looking at this kind of unique tree design, you might say, from the air. I love picking up different designs in the fields and stuff, especially during the fall and the wintertime. You can see so much more detail in the land. But I'm looking at this, and it really looks weird. Almost looks like a shape of a baseball diamond there. Strange. Maybe it was a baseball diamond at one time. Huh. Anyway, the tree line here seems to indicate there's probably a creek or something running in there. Maybe some water of some type, a gully of some type. And look at that neat design. I think it's just so neat. Looks pretty cool to me. So we're spinning around here. We notice there's a little bit of moisture in the air. Not too bad like it was on one of my previous flights. The corn is sweating a little bit. We're getting a little bit of corn sweat here in the Midwest, but not really bad right now. It was a couple weeks ago. The agriculture in the Midwest was knocking up the humidity several points every day when temperatures were 100 degrees and humidity was as high as it was. So we had heat indexes of 120 plus here. So that tends to make the plants want to go into give up their moisture to go into survival mode, the corn and the beans. But now the temperatures have come back down. They're going to be in the mid 90s for this time of year, and that's probably about 8 to 10 degrees higher. There should be about 83 for a high right now, but we're going to average 95, 93 to 98 in the next week. So still way too high. There's a nice little lake there. I'm not fishing in it, so it's not very nice. Look what I'm talking about again. Look at the tree designs. How cool is that? You never notice that unless you can look at it from the air. And there's our old power plant out there. We'll drift over by it. We won't go too close to it today, but we'll drift over that way. Right in front of us, there's a walking trail, and I can't remember the name of it. It's like Grand Island. I think it's named after the railroad that runs right past it or right next to it, just less than 100 feet from the walking trail. You got a railroad line. Amtrak runs on it. A lot of things run on it, but I think that's what they named that walking trail. Not sure, though. Pretty nice trail, though. Now, here's the field I was talking about. A guy, He may have irrigated this field or whatever, but he got a lot of bales out of this field down there on the right. He did all right. We'll fly over it again on the way back. Take a look at how he did on his round bale situation. Oh, there's a nice pond over there. We're gonna look around here a little bit. There you go. See, these other fields are, a lot of them are planted in soybean, which will be a while before they get harvested. There's the railroad track. Now we're back where we want to be. That doesn't make you dizzy, nothing will. Anyway, well, let's just float right over here. It's a nice little pond, little lake. Not more than a pond. I'd call that a lake. I don't see anybody fishing in it. To me, they're just going to waste if you don't have a rod and a wet line in the lake. Haven't been doing much fishing. Need to do some more of that. Loved fishing when I was younger. Haven't been doing much of it in my old age, but would like to get back to it. That's for sure. Hardly nothing more relaxing than sitting there with your line out in the water, just daydreaming about everything you can think of. Daydreaming about your youth. Okay, there is the plant. I don't know, power generating plant, something of that nature. We're just going to come up a little bit more and then we're just going to swing away from her. I would like to fly down to that water tower down there. I love flying water towers, around water towers. There's so much neat stuff to see around a water tower. It's just almost unbelievable. People's names on them and everything. They got some guy's name named Tate Stevens on one of the local towers here. I think he was on one of those talent shows on TV or something. I think he's a country guy. So let's see. We're headed back now. I think we're going to take a look around here. I see that round baled field down here on the left again. So I'd like to get a little bit better view of that. There I go. Now he's got some money there. Round bills can go anywhere from $60 to $100 or more, depending on what they are and what size they are. But he's got a bunch of them out of that field. I'd say he did awful good. I might think that he irrigated that field or something, because it just it's amazing how many he got out of there. But more power to him. That's a good deal. Come back over towards the railroad tracks here, and you're seeing nothing but soybean fields ahead. So we'll drift back towards where we're at. I like this little squiggly tree line here, cutting through from the walking area right there. Goes right beside the railroad tracks. And way off in the distance, I believe that's called City Lake. So I don't see anybody on the walking trail. It's a neat trail. When that train comes by, that Amtrak comes by at about 45 miles an hour, and you're that close to it. It's pretty cool. We'll float on this way. Now we're headed north-northeast. So we've got the wind blowing from our right to our left. I always try to fly out with the wind at my back, and that assures me that I've got enough battery power to get back. Actually, I'm saying that wrong. I like to fly out with the wind in the face of the drone, and that way I have enough battery power to get back. I have the battery at my tail side, blowing from my backside, trying to help me along when I'm headed back to my takeoff point. I don't see anybody on the trail today at all. I can tell you, right after I landed, my battery was down to about 10%, and I heard a train coming. There was just no way I could get down in time and get the battery changed and back up to catch the train. They go through there too fast. Those Amtraks go through there 40, 50 miles an hour. But I sure like to chase those trains. It's a lot of fun. Always been fascinated with trains and planes since I was a kid. What kid when he was little back in the day didn't put a penny on a train track and be amazed how big they are if you can find them after the train rolls over them. Most kids got smart and started taping them on the tracks when they were little now. Not smart, not legal thing to do, but I think back in the 50s, every kid I know did it one time or another. So let's see, flying up this edge right here, and then we're just going to skedaddle over this road for a second, this old gravel road. And we're getting close to back to being home. Just a leisurely flight. You can see the little bit of lightning in the trees. We haven't had much rain. There's City Lake there, way up on the left. Haven't had much moisture. So some of the treetops you'll see are starting to yellow a little bit, lighter green. And it'll be another month and a half. Let's see. Yeah, a month and a half at least before we start getting any color, any good color. So maybe a little bit more. But the drought that we've had this year, we had rain earlier in the year. Now, this guy's got a beautiful place back up in here. This is rough. We had good rain early in the year, and for the last couple months it's been almost drought conditions. So usually when that happens, there's not a lot of moisture stored up in the leaves. So the fall colors, you don't get the great fall colors. And I'm thinking this year is going to be no exception. I don't think we'll have great colors this year. I think we're going to go from yellow to brown with a little bit of color in, some of the maple trees. But when you have a good wet spring and get enough moisture after July, in August and September, and then when it starts cooling off in October and late October and the leaves start changing, late October and November, get fabulous colors. But I don't think we're going to see that in this part of the country this year, unfortunately. Boy, there's a pond there that looks like it's seen better days. It looks just like it's covered with moss. That's what happens on those shallow ponds like that. Well, this field usually has turkeys in it. I see turkeys when I'm driving up and down there all the time, but do not see any right now. And there's usually a bunch of bow hunters in there. That's where they come in and park at. Go back in there and bow hunt. It's got several stands set up in there. Let's see, we're going to just drift here to the right, back down through this corner. He's got a couple tree stands in that corner right there. And then we're going to drift back, and we're almost home. So like I said, you can see the difference, and not the dark greens, you can see the lighter, almost yellows starting to appear. And you can see it pretty well through most of the trees that aren't down in the bottom. They're getting a lot of water. They're drying out pretty darn quickly. There we are. Okay, well, like I said, this was just an early September flight, just a leisurely morning flight. I missed my train by a couple minutes. In fact, right when I'm getting ready to land here, I hear the whistle out in the distance, and just knew I missed it. But sometimes you do, and sometimes you don't, But the whole point is, I enjoy flying, and I hope you guys enjoyed just seeing the beautiful scenery. I like it a little bit better in the late fall and winter time, and I'll try to shoot some footage there for you, but just out flying. If I'm not riding my motorcycle, out flying, making videos is a lot of fun, a good hobby for me. Like I said, there's plenty of motorcycle videos on my channel too, and Mini 3 Pro and Mini 2 videos on the channel in their own playlist, so you're welcome to take a look at them. Let me know what you think. We're going to back up here This grass is way too short for another cutting yet. Hopefully by another month or so, it'll thicken out a little bit. We'll get some rain. It'll thicken out, and maybe we can get another cutting out of it. Just not heavy enough or thick enough to do it right now. Just bring it on down here. Disregard those two people standing by that truck. Kind of like the Wizard of Oz. Don't pay no attention to them. You guys stay safe out there. Whatever you do, try to treat each other right. And by that, I mean treat each other like you want to be treated. You know, you'll find out that it's the golden rule is always the best rule to follow, you know. Up there's that scarecrow. He ain't walked too far. He's trying to keep the deer out of the cucumbers there, but he ain't doing such a good job. They ate all the watermelon of it. Not happy with them critters. Everybody stay safe out there. We'll get a chance. We'll put out some more content for you soon. Fly safe, drive safe, ride safe. And here we go. Right there. She's got her spot right now. And boom.